Hello, I'm Elgato, and welcome back to the Minecraft news video. So I have some pretty exciting news to share with you all because we have just seen a brand new village design for the 1.14 Pillage and Village update. So obviously this update's name implies that it's going to be having a lot of village updates, but today we saw our first brand new village design. It's the Savannah Village, and that's exciting not only because, you know, Toy Cat and Savannah, they go together like this, but also because we saw so many brand new things they intend to do with most villages, I assume. You can see so many different village updates in this one thing, and it basically really does explain that this update is going to redefine villages. I'm excited and I'm going to be talking about it in depth in today's video, but first I need to answer the big question that's been going off like for the last few days on the channel, because a snapshot came out on Wednesday, a snapshot came out today. Why have I not covered it yet? That's a big and easy question, right? You know, I obviously should have done that, and I really wish that I could. However, my bag was stolen on the way to the airport. If you don't know, I was in Switzerland/Italy from Wednesday evening to Friday morning, and while I was on the way to the airport, my bag, including all of its contents, my recording stuff, my laptop, my ski stuff, all that stuff was stolen. It's a disaster, like losing that much stuff. You know, it's thousands of pounds worth. It's a disaster by itself. But I think what's almost worse in a way that you don't ever like realize in this stuff is like the distrust you have in like humanity for a bit afterwards. So sorry about that. Just wanted to explain. Wanted to do a video really bad, but I literally had no way to play Java because I just had a phone on top. It was a whole without even a charger because I lost that too. It was a whole disaster. But let's explain what's going on with the Minecraft news today. So this is the Savannah Village right here. In case you're curious as to where we saw this design from, because I like to explain the source in these videos. Lady Agnes tweeted out earlier today, and she said that this was the brand new, village that her and Professor Mobius had been working on. So again, this is just the current preview. This isn't the finalized version. We haven't seen it in a snapshot yet. I want to cover the snapshot tomorrow when that happens, but this is what the village looks like in Minecraft, the Savannah Village looks like in Minecraft right now. So again, I wanted to cover it in this video, not just because like, oh, it's an image, let's pad this out for however many villages this is and then like call it a day. I know that there's going to be a comment like that, but it's because of the fact that if you look at this head on, it's like, oh, that's cool, new Savannah Village. They're taller and they maybe use some new blocks, but when you start to really dive into it, you see a lot of different things, so let's probably talk about that. Oh, actually, the other thing you notice is like, man, this really makes the old Minecraft village look awful. You know, that whole like guy looking at his girlfriend and then he's got a more attractive, yeah, it's that whole meme, but like in village form, because this village blows 1.4 to 13 Savannah out of the water. Anyway, let's dive into this bit by bit, building by building or whatever, because first of all, let's talk about the fact, brand new building designs, obviously exciting. They've got like a weird shaped roof, you know, to kind of signify that like it's a savannah. You don't need to have perfectly flat roofs, but and a perfectly, like diagonal roof that we have. So you can have slightly more flat roofs. It's kind of fitting the theme of the biome a lot more because there's a lot less rainfall there than in say have one. So that's a topical detail you might not have spotted. But the other kind of cool thing is they're now using different building blocks. So as well as using acacia blocks in slightly different like orders, you can see how there's some pointing in different ways. You can see how there's lots of hardened clay being used there too. So again, this is just exciting to note as like, so they've taken a lot of building tips from like mixing blocks from the biome where it makes sense, and also they've used fences. Basically, they've taken the building level from like your first house you build in Minecraft to this is a house of someone who's knows what they're doing in Minecraft. In other words, better than what I can do and better than what some people might able to do, which some people might be able to do. There you go. Again, I've got super limited time, that's why I'm recording this video right now, but some people might be able to do that, and that's kind of cool. But here's the thing that makes this more exciting than just like, okay, it's good builds, Toy Cat, I get the point, but you said this showed off some new features, so let's talk about those one by one. So first of all, there's the fact that you can see in the center, there is a brand new like well design. This one has banners pre-built into it, which is cool because banners are a kind of valuable block. Like I would say they're an interesting thing that you can kind of do something with. If all villages have banners by default, you can kind of color them and then give your village a bit more of a theme, and it will fit a bit better, so that's kind of cool. Also, if you just want to take the banners off and like change it, I know there's like an allegiance system I'm sure you can do something with, but then also looking around the well, which again, I think I like the new design a lot, you can see there is a bell right next to it. There's two bells, in fact, two bells and two torches, and this is intriguing because it implies the bell has something to do with the village as a whole. There's some magic ability, Minecraft magic, but there's some ability that can be triggered by this bell. Again, I'm assuming the villagers will ring it when they're under siege or something like that, but the bell is in fact in the center. It's going to have some primary village purpose, and they are going to also naturally generate. So yeah, every Savannah village at least, and probably every village you find will have bells built in, which no matter what they do, is kind of a cool difference. Villages, It's not just that the buildings are changing. It's not just that the look of the villages themselves are changing, in a lot of different ways, but also the functionality is changing because the bell's going to do something. It's not just going to be like you can ring this because that would be ridiculous. It's going to have some central purpose, I imagine, and we'll be able to work out what it is. But now we know it's going to be based on the village as a whole because the only bells in this entire image are right there in the center, which I don't think is a mistake. So next up, we have the fact that moving all the way over here to the left, so I mean, I guess I'm in a little face cam bubble, but all the way over to the left, you can see how, like, okay, this little villager house, it's all on stilts. You gotta, like, climb up into it, and you'll see how there's some wood next to it, which looks like it's wood, unless you zoom in super close, in which case you'll notice it's barrels. So, given that this one is, again, it's above a water pit, maybe intentionally, maybe not, and it has a bunch of barrels there, maybe those barrels are just water barrels for some reason, like, in case, I guess they don't get much rainfall, so they need to store it in barrels. Or maybe there's going to be a village design dedicated to something with the barrels. I don't know for sure. But just looking at that by itself is like, the possibilities are endless. Something with that villager hut is to do with the barrels, and this kind of backs up the theory that I mentioned way back. The moment these, these new blocks came out, like the day off it, I've seen a lot of people like use the same theory afterwards and say they invented it, but I mentioned this the very, hour or two after the snapshot came out. Those are something to do with villages. There are going to be brand new professions for each of the new things, so there's going to be some new village profession that has its own little house that involves barrels. Will barrels just be water collection? Will they be distilling? I can't imagine them being like distilling, like spirits in Minecraft or moonshine or whatever. Maybe there'll be like a funny, suspicious, water that you can drink and it gives you a weird effect. I don't know for sure, but it's weird to see that right in Minecraft right there. Next up, let's take a look at the wider village as a whole, because notice this. Besides the two village buildings on the left and right of the center, besides those two, every single village in this, building in this screenshot happens to be entirely different. So there's one that's 2 stories, one of wood, one of hardened clay. There's two, there's the one just made of wood with a boring roof. That's a boring villager hut. I'm sure they'll be common. There's the barrel building. There's the yellow stained clay building with a nice little doorway and a banner above it. There's the slightly raised up building with a lot of banners on the side. You can see looking around this, there is pretty much no 2 buildings that are exactly the same, and that is something that intrigues me a lot. Also, they use acacia doors on the buildings, which is nice. But yeah, there's no 2 villages designs which are exactly the same, whereas right now, it's like, there's like 7 different building designs, and it's like, okay, so you get this, that. These all look like they're brand new. I don't think any of these are going to be the church, for instance. I think these might stack on to the existing builds, or there might be brand new designs for those, or maybe, for instance, churches only spawning plains, but there's a lot of new village building designs, as well as a lot of new village designs, as well as new functionalities for them, which is, again, it's called the Pillage and Village Update. Pillages are being updated every week, and we're going to start seeing that happening to villages pretty darn soon. So I'm excited, and I feel like, just for fun comparison, let's go back now, and let's talk about the Old Savannah Village, because you look at this, and it's like, oh yeah, there is 4 buildings that look exactly the same, and then there's another 3 that look exactly the same, and then there's a blacksmith, which is cool because you get 1 chest 1 time and it's exciting, and sometimes furnaces if you're like me and do weird speedruns, and then there's a house with an outside, that's nice, and then there's a well which is surrounded by gravel, which looks absolutely awful. It's the worst thing in the world. And now go back to this one. Oh, it's beautiful. Every house, pretty much, asterisk, is different. They all look, there's something unique going on with each one. The way the fields are even done, like, they're all spaced out like a real field would be, rather than having a weird little potted plant kind of thing going on. It's all really exciting, and that is why 1.14 Savannah Villages are pretty darn exciting here. So one more thing about this image you might have missed, because I find it funny that, like, again, this is in development. It might change a little bit. This is obviously like near the finalized design, but the way you can tell this is definitely a dev build is look all the way to the right, and you can see how, like, oh yeah, there's actually some there's some real lighting issues, which is one of those perpetual Minecraft issues that always comes up, and you can see it right here in this screenshot, which I think is kind of funny personally. So yeah, long story short, villages are getting an update, and I think that's pretty darn exciting. I want to end this video before it gets to 10 minutes, because otherwise someone's going to be like, oh, sees one screenshot stretches it out, but I hope that watching this video convinced you that, like, actually, yeah, it is kind of cool to see all the different things that you can see in just one image alone, because it's such a brand new image showing us into a whole new world of Minecraft updates, which will hopefully start next week. So, a couple last things to say at the end of the video before we, again, we're running out of time to make sure we go into that 10-minute marker. But first of all, I want to mention that, like, oh yeah, The snapshot, I will be covering that ASAP. Like, it'll be happening tomorrow, I would hope, in the afternoon. I want to cover it, but I want to do it in proper detail, though. That's why today we're talking about this one big thing that I've been looking at all day. I haven't been able to play the snapshot because I don't have a laptop. And second of all, speaking of the whole theft thing again, this is the intriguing thing about that. I have footage of literally 30 seconds before it's stolen, and in the same way when you look at like a picture of someone who's like died, and it's like, oh man, like in this picture they're happy, they don't know they're gonna die yet. It's kind of like that, but with a bag that's like, oh, it doesn't know. It's like, it's about to die, but it doesn't even know. And I don't know how you can feel that about objects, but it feels like you can. And fun fact, it's like, yeah, I'll probably find the footage and I'll do something with it, because I also have the exact moment that it was like, I've got some interesting footage. I'll do something with it because I had a GoPro, and it's a whole thing I'd love to talk about sometime. But thank you very much for watching this video. It went over 10 minutes, so I'm a money whore now. Make sure to shoot your money at me directly by hitting that subscribe and bell button, because as you do know, YouTubers get paid $100 every time you hit that bell. That's why we keep telling you to do it. And when you hit the like, it's actually $1,000. So hit like, hit bell, and then I hope I'll see you all in the next video. That was all sarcasm, I hope you realize. Goodbye. There's nothing that 100 withers or more could ever do. You should have voted for the Savannah. You should have voted for the Savannah.